Hi, everybody. I'm just here to complain a little bit today. Wait and see if anybody comes online or if the family comes home. Either way, I figured I would, you know, complain about stuff. I put up that video yesterday and I figured, hey, Doomsday. And so I put up the video yesterday complaining about community members. It felt good. So Weapon X Squall, how you doing? I wanted to complain a little bit more. Although this has nothing to do with YouTube or comics, so gonna complain about the cost of things. So here we go. I am lucky enough to live in one of the better public school districts in the country. I didn't grow up in one of the better public school districts in the country. In fact, I probably grew up in one of the worst ones in the deep South, and somehow made it out. But so Montgomery County in Maryland, it's a suburb of DC where I live, has a great public school system. And my son gets to do things that I actually, I think Houston has a really good school, and I don't know whatever. I mean, I'm not a I don't know too much about school districts. My wife works. She's an executive with the county. And how much is gas? It's $2.83, I think, right now for regular. Anyway, so my son gets to do things that I would never have gotten to do as a kid. Now, part of that is just because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. That's when I was in elementary school, the late 80s, the early 90s. And so he is going on a field trip to the South Mountain Creamery. Now, the first thing I question is why does the entire first grade in his elementary school need to go to an ice cream factory? It seems 215. Wow, yeah, well, Texas. I mean, we have Maryland is really high taxes on gas and on everything, which I guess is one of the reasons we have a good school district. I mean, not the gas tax, but yeah, and it's just expensive around here. Luckily, we're not over $3 yet. I'm sure we're headed that way. So anyway, so my son's going to go on a field trip to an ice cream factory, and I like I said, are comics expensive too? Honestly, yeah, they kind of are. I mean, comics are what they are, off of the stand. They're just, the price. Some places do discounts, but not very many of them. If you don't know someone who's willing to cut you a deal, yeah, the prices can be pretty high, especially if you're going out. Like, so sometimes I'll go on my in-laws, my sister-in-law and her brother, or my sister-in-law and her husband, brother. They live in Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. And sometimes I'll go up there and I'll do a little hunting up there, and the prices are much cheaper, generally speaking. And it's also easier to find. So to be completely honest with you, most of the places around here for back issues are completely wiped out. There just really isn't a whole lot to be had. I know Longbox Love Affair. He lives in the area as well. I think he lives in DC though. He seems to find stuff sometimes. I'm not sure what shops he's going to. Usually where I find stuff is I think it's a stupid name, but I have a honey hole. I have a really good friend who buys, like today he messaged me and he bought 2,800 silver and bronze age titles. And he doesn't know that much about comic books. So I usually get to look through them first, and he'll cut me deals. So a lot of the really big books that I get, I'm usually getting from stuff that he's bought. And I mean, he'll drop $100,000 on a collection of toys or a collection of comic books or whatever fairly regularly. Anyway, to get back to my complaining. Hey, Tat, how you doing? So my son's going to this ice cream thing, and it's $17 for him to go. And so my wife put in to be a chaperone, and you have to go into a lottery to be a chaperone. So that seems also kind of ridiculous, but whatever. And so she has to pay $17. So we're paying $34 for my son to go on a trip to an ice cream factory with his school, with his public school. What grade is he in? He's in first grade. For a minute, when you say grade, I was like, well, I think he's a 9.8 personally. He's not perfect. But he's anyway, maybe he'll come in a few minutes and I'll let him meet him. But it's just stupid. I mean, $34 to take a tour of an ice cream factory? Why? So I was talking to my wife, Kristen. Like I said, she works for the county, so she had some insight into all this. I'm actually a federal employee, but I get to work from home sometimes, so that's why I put videos in the middle of the day. What was I going to say? And she said that I guess $9 of the 17 goes to getting charter buses. Taking the Baskin Robbins, it's cheaper. Yeah, no, it sure is. It's also going to the grocery store and just buying like great value ice cream is cheaper. But apparently $9 is going for them to get a charter bus. That's insane. Why do they need a charter bus? Like, look, I understand some of these like these smaller private schools, like Catholic schools and things like that. They don't have school buses. I mean, people just get dropped off at them. And they would need to rent out a charter bus to go somewhere. But this is public school. They got 1 million buses that are literally designed for children to ride in them. Children. And yet we're South Mountain Creamery, Seawater. I mean, it blows my mind. Like, I told my wife, I was like, y'all better come back with like a gallon of ice cream a piece. Like I need to get fatter on this ice cream. This is ridiculous. Like why? I don't know, man. Like I said, when I rode places when I was in school, we rode on a school bus if we were lucky. I mean, honestly, on dirt roads. Like when it rained too hard where I went to school, where I grew up, if it rained too hard, the dirt roads got washed out and we didn't have school. It's sort of like what happens when it snows too much up here. Or really, honestly, if it snows like an inch, they cancel school up here because people can't deal with it. Rocky Road, Butterpecan. That's fine. It needs to be high end stuff. We're not talking about vanilla and chocolate. For $34, it needs to be mint chocolate chip with some like Oreo cookies in it and some other crap. I don't think it's going to be that. And I heard it's good ice cream, but I mean, honestly, for that much, I can get like a key issue or something for that much. I mean, not a great key, but something. Maybe a Venom key. Because the movie's coming out, I got to get all the Venom books. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to get on and complain about that. I mean, this is money that I could spend on comic books. And I don't spend enough money on comic books. I don't think. I mean, my collection's got some holes in it. You got to fill them, and I can't fill them with ice cream because ice cream melts. And my son's education is not tangible. Our scratch and sniff stickers. Yeah, I have. I don't know if anybody remembers the Super Nintendo game. I don't even know. I never see what it's probably not even old enough. Earthbound that came out in 94, 93, 94. And it was interesting because it came with like an actual Nintendo Power Players Guide with it. And inside that, it had cards at the back of like all the different characters in the game. And it's an awesome game. You can download it nowadays. Actually buying the cartridge is super expensive. And man, those scratch and sniff stickers on the back, they were awesome. Not because they smelled good, because they didn't smell good. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, the Angry Video Game Nerd just had a vid about those stickers. Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched the Angry Video Game Nerd, but I met him, oh, man, 2 or 3 years ago at Too Many Games in Oaks, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. His name's James Rolfe. He's a really cool dude. Him and I can't remember the other guy he does a lot of the videos with. Yeah, I should, but so yeah, no, I love scratch and sniff stickers. I also love Garbage Pail Kids. Mike, yeah, thank you, Mike Matei. Yeah, he was someone did an interview of him. I don't know if it was Pat the NES Punk or something, and it was just kind of about how the two of them got started. And yeah, it was a really good and really informative interview, and it's just kind of interesting to see how I still have a lot of my Garbage Pail Kid stickers. Yeah, I well, I'll get to it in a second, but it's interesting to see how they started out and how the ball just like it started snowballing, and they ended up you know, really a massive YouTube organization or whatever. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so my family owned a toy store growing up, and so I had a lot of toys, GI Joe, Transformers, and whatnot, and a lot of Garbage Pail Kids, a lot of that stuff, and I was really anal retentive for a child, and I kept all of the boxes. I mean, I played with them, but I took them out, probably threw away the styrofoam, and then I flattened the boxes out for like the stuff. And I was really careful taking like the GI Joe figures off the cards. And so I had all of this stuff, and where I went to undergrad, so no, I went to Georgia, University of Georgia for graduate school. Uh, I was like 6 hours away from home, and so my parents decided to downsize when I was in college and go and move to a small house. And so um, everything that was in the attic needed to be moved out. And so my mom called me and essentially told me to come down for the weekend and, decide what I wanted to keep. And we were lucky. So this is not bragging. It's not meant to. We own like my family, my extended family own a block of the downtown area in Moultrie, Georgia. And so across the top of all of the buildings was what used to be the old railroad office. So it's really big. So we use that as storage. So we had storage space for all of it. But I was lazy and I wanted to hang out with my friends and drink and be stupid and do stupid things. And so I was just like, man, oh, I didn't call my mom man. I probably said ma'am, M-A apostrophe M. And I was just like, yeah, just give the toys away, throw the boxes away or whatever. And so my mom threw my magic cards away, my Garbage Pail Kids away, gave away all my toys, threw all the boxes away. And I've ended up rebuying a lot of that stuff. So, Garbage Pail Kids brings back bad memories of stupid decisions that I made when I was, my 20s or late teens. So that was really all I had today. I was just going to complain about the cost of ice cream field trips. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to know? Feel free to ask. I'm not really doing anything right now. Just waiting for the fan to get home. Oh, excuse me. Tell you, making that haul video today was tiring. Do you still read any comic books? Yeah, I do. I tend not to read the books that I buy. So I work from home usually a couple days of the week. All right, so I'll ask for web first. But my office is in downtown DC, across the street from Union Station, the train station. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And so I bring my laptop in my bag and everything. usually I will read stuff on Comixology. It's just, if you want to throw a couple trade paperbacks or, expensive comic books into a bag and try to bring them in, and I have to stand out sometimes in the rain, waiting for the commuter train, because I live it's like an hour 15-minute commute for me. So I read Comixology books usually. So I mean, I've read Oblivion Song. I'm currently going through The Sixth Gun that the Great Legend recommended like 2 months ago. What else? I'm also going through the Thanos series. So yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, I do read. I don't read as much as I want. A lot of times I'll read in the evening, but my wife and I were like 10 movies behind. Actually, if you can look behind my head over my left shoulder, you'll see kind of a green thing in the back wall. That's a list of movies that we needed to watch. We were like 10 movies. Yeah, Six Guns good. Of the Marvel movies that we needed to watch. So it just is one of those things where we've been trying to knock those out. So as soon as my son goes to bed, we try to watch them. And neither of us stay up particularly late. So I just haven't had time to read much. So let's see. So what crazy stuff did you do in that building? The one with the railroad. Yeah, I'm not sure what building you're talking about. Doomsday. I mean, we've always just used it as storage. The railroad company closed down in Moultrie long before we bought the block. So my grandparents started a jewelry store under it, and then as they expanded, they just bought more of the buildings, and sooner or later bought all of it. So no, I mean, at one point, I think my aunt and uncle rented it out to a band that they would do practice and stuff in part of it, because it's a really long building. But they were smoking cigarettes and doing stuff that pissed my aunt and uncle off, and so they kicked them out. Hey, Comics with Bueller. So let's see. See Woodard. I'm thinking of going to start a tag today, challenging others, mostly myself, to review a storyline and so forth. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a bummer that I don't get to read more. I mean, part of it's just having kids. Like we try to on the weekends, 1 or 2 days, we try to bring my son to a museum, the zoo, the Baltimore Zoo, and the National Zoo, science museums and things like that, just to keep him thinking about things and doing things and having experiences. So usually I'm driving, so no one wants me to drive and try to read comic books at the same time. So yeah, I am way behind as well. There's a mini series on Netflix called Dark. Is it called Dark? And I should watch it, or is it called Dark Watch? Doomsday. I do have Netflix, so I mean, we finally finished. We watched Black Panther the other day, so we're just down to watching 2 Star Wars movies and Wonder Woman and The Disaster Artist. So, congrats, C. Woodard. Everybody likes Dark. Okay, yeah, everybody likes days off. At least I do. I guess my wife's weird. She likes going to work. I don't like it as much. I mean, it's fine, but it is what it is. It buys comic books and allows me to, live, I suppose. So, all right. Well, I think that's my family. I'll wait a minute. Y'all can meet my son. I'll probably log off. Let's see. Hopefully he's not in a bad mood. Yeah, my dog is super loud. I apologize. William, come here, buddy. Just for a second. I'm live on YouTube. Say hello. Okay, he's being shy. So
no, I'm not.
You're not being shy? What are you being?
So why do you have a water bottle there?
because I'm drinking water. Okay, well that was my son. He's being shy. So anyway, all right. Thanks for joining me and listening to me complain about ice cream. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. All right, have a good one. Bye.